All right, we're going for a ride in downtown Vegas. Wish me luck. All right, so it is 1:09 right now. Pretty hot, but it's gonna get in the teens later on this week. So I guess it's a colder day. I've never gone biking in downtown before. I'm not a very experienced biker, but I figured this would be an interesting part of town to explore. Not that there are too many in Vegas, but this is definitely one of them. This is the heart of the city. And I don't mean the Strip. The Strip is, well, you know, it's kind of commercial. It's a little bit gaudy, ritzy. It's made for tourists, basically. And it's not really where Vegas locals go. This is downtown. This is definitely where Vegas locals go. And you'll see the heart of the city on this ride. This is also the grounds of the music festival that happens every year. There's going to be one this year too, I believe in October. It's called Life is Beautiful. It's pretty fun, actually. I've been there several times. This whole large section of downtown is blocked off specifically for the music festival, which is kind of cool. Not too many cities do that, I don't think. Maybe they do, but see all this artwork on the buildings? This is the art of Vegas. Local murals and all that. A lot of old hotels here. This is really the old Strip, the old iconic Vegas. A lot of classic stuff here. Not that there's too much history in Vegas, but this is all the history you're gonna get right here. Definitely more grimy downtown than the Strip, but you know, every downtown area in any city pretty much is. I'm fine with it. I can accept, you know, dirty, poorly paved roads, potholes, and homelessness, as long as there's enough interesting art and food and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if I would want to live in downtown long term, but I do like visiting it and hanging around because it's interesting, you know. It has character more so than super clean and sterile master planned communities that you could find all over Vegas. At least the newer parts of town. I don't like that. There's no character, there's no soul. Here it might be dirty, it might be even ugly in some parts, but at least it has a soul. It has character. I think that's kind of gonna be hard to find in newer cities. Shit. Oh, okay. Fuck me, I guess. Shit. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm gonna find out, I guess. Yeah, that does not look bike lane friendly. I guess I'm going on the sidewalk anyways. Oh, jeez. It's the Hotel Apache. I didn't even know about this place. And here you can see the classic Vegas lights, all the casinos, and it smells like cigarettes. This and cigarettes, that's what it smells like. Oh, this is Fremont, which is world famous. I'll take you guys through a little tour of Fremont Street, so I can navigate all of this. just opened, I want to say less than a year ago, called the Circa. It's a pretty fancy one. This is like the end of the Fremont area. There's a stage. Get all the alcohol you want here. Just a massive open bar. We're going to go down that way.
I'll always be by your side, though. I'll probably always be by your side, yo. I'll always be by your side, though.
It was going to be really hard to go through all the people, but no, people are somewhat aware, you know, they'll make room for you. But yeah, Vegas is a weird mix, you know, you got all this, people are just here to have a good time, I think. You got all these tourists, you got all this alcohol, it's like a party that never ends. All right. Lots of little bars right here. Really fun for bar hopping at night. Cool spots. Pretty expensive, but what do you expect? I've heard that's a good Thai place. Never been. There's a lot of good food here, though, in general. In downtown, I mean. As with most downtown areas in cities, you kind of trade comfort and security for good food and fun nights out. I guess you really can't have it both ways, right? You can't really have an exciting, artistic kind of place with good food while being suburban and super safe, right? Because those super safe, conservative people aren't gonna be adventurous. They're not gonna do things that are pushing the envelope. It's not gonna be as interesting. That's kind of just the trade-off, though. High risk, high reward. Man, it does smell like urine in many parts of this town. Those are some cool art exhibits, again, from the music festival that I mentioned earlier. Whoops. So those are the most happening parts of downtown. It's not a huge downtown area in Vegas. But I'll show you guys some other cool stuff. I'll make a right on 9th. There's definitely more to downtown, but that's like the main artery of the action. This is a cool mural. It's peace shot out by a handgun. Some sort of deep message in there, I'm sure. I don't have time to figure it out though. Show you guys Container Park. So it's like this enclosed area. This is also in the music festival grounds, but it's pretty much everything here is made inside or out of shipping containers, which is pretty cool. It's kind of a junk art type of place. See this thing right here? Forgot how you get in. I'm probably not going to let bikes in, so I'll just turn around.
On like her own kid.
Can I go in on my bike or no? Oh, okay. Well, it's all right. It's all good. gets annoying as somebody who lives here because people think you just live in a casino or something. But outside of that, Vegas is kind of a weird small town in the middle of the desert when you take away the strip. I mean, if you've ever flown here, or if you ever do fly here, it's just a weird, just city of lights out in the middle of basically nowhere. Dry desert, surrounded by mountains. So I can't stress that enough. I'm just gonna cross. It's a hotel here. Downtown Sushi, I think I've been there once. Donut bar, sold out. I like these cute little shops. This is a really good restaurant, supposedly. I don't think they open until nighttime now. Should I go through here? Oh man, would not want to be here at night. I really don't even want to be here right now. But this is a Vegas alleyway. It's so interesting how, specifically here, but I'm sure again this applies to other cities, how in just the more dirty and sort of run down the part of town is, the more art and good food there is. It's just such a strong correlation. It's so weird how that works. I mean, it's not weird when you consider what I was saying earlier about conservatism and liberalism, not in terms of political parties, of course, but just kind of perspectives. And as people get older, of course, they get more conservative because they want to hold on to what they have, and you know, maybe they have a family or they have more responsibilities. They don't want to be so risk-taking and exploring, adventurous. But of course, I don't think it's a necessary part of aging. It really just depends on your life. There's plenty of older people who are very open-minded, forward-thinking, whatever that means. I don't think we can all agree on what forward-thinking is. But the point is that it's a state of mind that is heavily influenced by your age and where you are in life. But, you know, you could be an old man who's very open-minded, very spiritual, who has the essence of a young child in terms of your perspective. This is the courthouse. One of the courthouses, actually. This is the federal courthouse, I believe. There's another courthouse. So I'll take you guys to the arts district, see what's going on there. Probably not much. It is 110 degrees out. It's really not that bad though, honestly, when you're riding. That courthouse, I actually have a video called Choose Your Path, and there's footage of a cop shooting in that courthouse. Like, not like a cop shooting at someone. I think it was a warning shot or a rubber bullet or something like that, but I was in my friend's car, a passenger seat, and I was just kind of filming the different protests going around, the George Floyd protests. And at one point by that courthouse, there's just a group of officers with rifles, and they shot one or two rounds. I'm not even exactly sure where or at who. It wasn't like at a crowd or anything, but yeah, it was. You could watch that video if you want to see what I'm talking about. I caught it on footage, on film. And there's more shops here. Little cool stuff. There's also, of course, wedding chapels because it's Vegas, so you could just get married overnight, which is probably almost always ill-advised, but what are you gonna do? It's part of the culture. Part of the culture here is to just make very poor decisions on a whim. That's pretty much Vegas. And there's a dispensary right there. There's a lot of dispensaries actually. But we're riding sober today. Don't think I want to be inebriated while riding around here. Okay. At least not yet. I'm not familiar enough with this area on bike. I always kind of feel extra bad for the homeless who are just basically basking in the Vegas heat. Apparently there's an underground system, underground tunnels in Vegas that a lot of the homeless here gather in. I mean, not gather like they're a part of one big group, but they just kind of find shelter in. I don't know where it is. There's definitely YouTube videos on it. I'm not sure if I want to go there. Maybe one day. But I think I'm good for now. The other thing with downtown areas is that you're gonna have extremely expensive housing, apartments, condos, restaurants, amenities, all these kinds of things right next to dirty, decrepit alleyways. And here's like some of the more, oh shit, I'm retarded. I just pedaled while braking and stopped myself. Point is, you could see sort of that there's a lot of nice areas here right next to a lot of the poor areas. So it's indicative of wealth income inequality. That's really obvious in places like LA, probably New York too. I'm not as familiar with New York. I've been there a few times. I like it. I definitely am very much out of my depth there. That's a pretty fancy apartment complex. Probably looking at several $100,000, maybe even like $1 million or more for apartments in that building. And there's a few different buildings like that around downtown. Yeah, I was reading your guys' comments on the last episode. First of all, thank you for the feedback. Thanks for watching. I didn't expect really anyone to watch, but the fact that some of you enjoyed it and watched most of it or all of it, I mean, I very much appreciate that. This is enjoyable for me, and if I can make this a fun little video series, I will give it a shot. Here's an interesting looking cafe. Mexican food. I'm sure the Mexican food here is great. So we are on Main Street now. And this is kind of what they call the Arts District. The first Friday of every month, there's this big event called First Friday, which has a bunch of food trucks and different art exhibits up and, you know, a lot of drinking and stuff. And they're kind of just in these big open lots around these areas. They'll set up all the festivities. So that's a pretty cool local event. I've gone to it a few times. I like that the buildings are different here. I like that every block looks different. That's what any city with some history looks like. History and culture. Nothing is going to be uniform and all gray and all the same. Every building has its own story, its own purpose, its own design. That's what I love about cities. Whereas if it's kind of like the bike ride I showed you guys last time, obviously that was a suburban area, But nonetheless, unless I had like a family and I was all settled down, even then I would probably get bored of a nice clean suburb. But I guess if it's a really nice area, I could settle down. But I am just, oh man, that is the opposite of how I feel in my life right now. I feel like I've settled way too much. I need to travel, I need to go out, I need to do things, try new things. That's why I'm doing this right now, talking to myself like a maniac while biking around downtown when it's 110 out Arts District right there. I just can't. That's why I never understood people who are like very comfortable with just having a 9-to-5 or a career path where they're just going to be working for the rest of their life. And it's kind of like that weekend, cramming all your fun activities into the weekend for every weekend of your life. That just sounds miserable to me. But I get it. Obviously, I'm living a little bit in the clouds, and if I was born in a different situation, I wouldn't have a choice. Maybe I won't have a choice in the end, I don't know. But I feel like I have a choice, and I don't want to live like that. I want to live life on my terms, which obviously you got to work for that. It's not easy. In fact, it's harder. You have to be very creative, very hardworking, and have a number of other skills. But I'm confident I could do it. That's why I have a YouTube channel. That's why I'm putting out content like this. That's why I'm interested in making music. And hey, if all else fails, I have enough experience with marketing and writing and filming and to some extent, I guess, acting, that I can use those skills for other lines of work. But ideally, I'm gonna have that all work for me. And I think I'm doing that right now. Man, these lights here do take forever though. So this is another cool part to hang out. There's some nice bars here as well. Little shops, thrift stores, coffee shops. That's a famous coffee shop. Or I don't know if it's famous, but it's a good local coffee shop. Makers and finders. This is like an antique store. You got vintage clothing here. Little chairs and stuff, furniture. That's a good Mexican restaurant. This is a space for lease, which of course I'm gonna rent out to throw a big convention in. I look like an old ice cream shop. That is a really cool low-key bar, the Velveteen Rabbit. Been there a few times. I want to get into one of these stores, but I don't have a bike lock. So this is the Arts District. This is where the locals hang out. That's pretty much the end of downtown Vegas, right here. This goes all the way to the Strip. Maybe I'll do a Strip ride one day. Not today though. I don't know. I don't know how the Strip is to bike through. I'll have to scope it out. I'm guessing it's not very bike friendly though. All right, so we're gonna go on this side, kind of wrap around, head back to where I was parked. Look at that. That's a cool shot. I'll come out here when I'm filming my post-apocalyptic scenes. Yeah, so maybe I'll talk a little bit about the series I'm working on, or the series I'm planning. It's called The Divided States, working title, and it's gonna start out in LA, Los Angeles, the city of dreams, or where dreams go to die, maybe. And analyze what is the culture there? What does LA culture mean to the residents? What does it mean to the people who moved there? Why did they move there? And what is the state of Los Angeles now? A lot of people say it's gone downhill, maybe for good reason. So I want to find the stories there and share them with you guys, and also compare it a bit to other places, namely Austin, Texas, which I also went to and I will go back to see how does that compare as a much smaller city, yet considered also a growing one and one that's also full of opportunity. How do things there compare? Is there a balance of size, of culture, of laws that make for an ideal city? And where is that balance? Is it even possible? And most importantly, look at these old slot machines. Most importantly though, the questions I want to answer is, what is American culture? What is American identity? Is there anything that unites us? Or are we a divided, oh shit, a divided nation? Sometimes I get carried away in what I'm saying and I don't fully pay attention to the road, or vice versa. Maybe that's why it's hard to go really deep into a topic while biking around here, because you have to be aware of the traffic and of what's going on around you. But I think you get the idea of my series. I mean, I don't even fully know what it's going to be about yet. I can have an idea, but the story kind of informs me. Talking to the people and filming the city and different parts of town, that informs me as much as it does you, if I'm presenting it right. Because I don't want to go in necessarily with a super strong agenda or angle. I mean, I'm going to have my biases and my perspective, of course, but I want to keep an open mind and kind of find a greater truth as I'm making the video. I think that's what any great documentary, I don't know why, I was trying to say documentarian, but I realized it sounded kind of pretentious. I think that's what any great documentary does, at least the ones I enjoy. It's funny, in Vegas, you don't really have towering skyscrapers. In Vegas, you don't really have towering skyscrapers like in other metropolitan areas. And the reason isn't because there's not enough business here. It's just that the business is in casinos and hotels. So all of the strip, its high-rises are casinos and hotels rather than office buildings. And the same is mostly true of downtown, where the tallest buildings are all hotel casinos. So it's kind of, unique in that way. Like you go to Boston, you go to New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, whatever. Every major building you see on the skyline is an office building or a bank or whatever. But here, every major building you see is for entertainment, for pleasure, for gambling. I don't know, I keep waiting at these ones. Which, I mean, that in itself informs you about, it informs a lot about the city. Because if that's what the business is centered around, well, the culture probably follows right behind that. Another thing about Vegas is that a lot of people move here from somewhere else. The minority of people who live here were born here. Maybe that's changing now, but most adults haven't lived here for very long. and they're not going to live here for very long. They moved to Vegas because it's cheap. It's maybe it's conveniently located. It's not far from LA. You don't have income tax, state income tax. The laws are pretty lenient. There's not too many people. You can get what you want, food-wise and entertainment-wise, I guess. But it's a transient town. People aren't really tied to here. They don't have strong family ties or cultural traditions in Vegas. The most traditional thing here is gambling, air conditioning, and nightlife. But hey, that's why it's popular with tourists. I just don't know if it's a great place to live for me. You know, well, there's a long story there, but I'm not gonna get into it. I have lived here almost all my life though. I was born in LA. We moved here when I was about a year old. And I feel like it's time to move. We'll see though. I certainly want to try living somewhere else. Even if I don't like it, I can come back. But I kind of owe it to myself to try something else, I think. So now we're back in the heart of downtown by all the casinos. Got the sparkling lights all on the ceiling. That's Fremont Street. I'm gonna avoid that this time.
I promise I would be by your side, yo. I would be by your side, though.
Party never ends in Vegas. Sometimes you get sick of partying though. I mean, it's so funny because Vegas is obviously viewed as like the ultimate party town. And of course, it sort of is, but only in a very curated sort of pay for the experience kind of way. Like I don't, you know, I live here, I don't go to parties ever. I've gone to more parties in LA where I don't live than here. I think LA has more social opportunities, certainly. I mean, Vegas, I guess you could have that in a touristy, like surface level way. You meet someone for a weekend and whatever, but I mean, LA, I'm not trying to make it look to be this amazing town either, but I think there's more creatives there, people who are interested in making content and stuff than there is here. Thanks. Oh, she was smoking that reefer. She was smoking that reefer.
I promise I would be by your side, yo.
So that was the downtown Vegas experience, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this smoky gambler's paradise as much as I did. Luckily, I have some water in the car, so I'm not gonna faint. But if I keep going for another couple hours, I might. So I will be ending this tour now. Thank you for watching. Look out for more peddling philosophy. I don't know if I'm gonna call it that. Working title. Oh, also, I forgot to ask. I'm trying a few different styles here. I'm aware that this is a fisheye lens, but I kind of like that. In fact, I want it to be more worked sometimes. Without, I mean, certain parts I want to be more distorted just for keeping the visuals kind of interesting. I also like incorporating music, as you guys saw with the last episode. So let me know if you guys enjoy that or if it's unnecessary. I'm just being self-indulgent. Let me know. Whatever. I just like mixing it up a bit, keeping it creative, keeping it interesting. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
I would be by your side, though.